Hi, this is Kevin Thomas with the At Home Film Festival, continuing a month-long look at gay movies because it's Pride Month. Today also happens to be the first day of summer, so happy to summer and welcome. This week we're going to look at documentaries. Now, the good thing about documentaries, and actually the reason I love film festivals, is because they bring us a lot of documentaries telling our stories. And a lot of these movies don't get the national play of a giant blockbuster film like an Avenger film or any Tom Cruise movie. But they still have great stories to be told. These aren't like the 7 greatest documentaries, they're pretty close, but I'm just choosing different areas of documentaries just to kind of showcase documentaries to you. And I'm starting off with The Long Road of Freedom, documentaries often have colons. The Advocate celebrates 50 years. If you just need a quick overview of our gay history, watch this movie. It was an Emmy-nominated film, played at many film festivals. It talks about the Advocate and how it grew over the 50 years it's been around, now 50 plus, telling all of our stories, whether they're happy ones or sad ones, or ones where we fight back or we stand for our rights. It really makes me proud to be a gay person and feel that there are people out there looking out for me. And in today's world, we actually could need looking out, but mainly we look out for each other. And in the hands of director Billy Clift, who does a lot of great narrative stuff, he has sewn together really great pieces of the story of the Advocate with a lot of dramatizations that look really good. So I'm so proud of this film. And if there's 2 movies you have to watch because you don't have a lot of time, would be this and The Celluloid Closet, which talks about gay movie history up until, of course, the time the movie came out. But then there's other great documentaries we got to look out for. The next one, super topical right now, is The Death and Life of Marsha P Johnson. Marsha P Johnson was murdered, but the police didn't care because she was trans. They don't really care. She just, like, they say it was an accident, but she fought for her rights, our rights. People call her the Rosa Parks of the gay community. In today's world where blacks and trans people are being brutalized and killed, this movie reminds us that we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. Sorry, a lot of these movies are super emotional and reminds me of like the crappy world that we live in right now. But the good thing is we are all as a community stronger, and we work together to try to right all the many wrongs that happen to us. Phew. Sorry, I didn't know I was gonna, like, every one of these is gonna hit me hard. Because then the next one here, Out in the Dark. Some could say this is the movie about the gang of lesbian killers. Okay, that's a headline that came from the newspapers. 7 lesbians of New Jersey were just hanging out. A guy tried to hit on them. Of course, they weren't interested. He actually got a little violent with them. They fought back. They stabbed him. They now were considered the killers. He was the innocent victim. This is another movie that just shows how we get pushed down, but we do fight back, and let's keep fighting back. But in the meantime, let's watch Out in the Night. I should have put some fun ones in here now that I'm looking at my list here. The next movie that we have is Bridegroom. Okay, this movie completely ripped my heart out. It's not about a bridegroom. The guy's name is Tom Bridegroom. He was in a loving, long-term relationship. Look at all those pictures with his partner, but in the time that they were together, there was no gay marriage. There was domestic partnership. Something happens to Tom Bridegroom, and his partner can't even visit him in the hospital because he's not family. And later on, Tom's family comes to take over running things since the accident, and they kind of cut his partner completely out of his life. When this movie came out, it made me buy a bunch of copies and give them away to every straight, gay, bi, whatever couples that I know that are living together. If you're not going to get married, at least make it legal so you are legally able to care for, love, and see the one that you love. This movie is, I'm sorry, super sad. If you need to cry your tears, this is the one to do it on. And surprisingly, the source is Linda Bloodworth Thomason, who did Designing Women. So obviously this story hit a chord with her because she strayed from comedy like to make this movie. Okay, I think next time I gotta do fun ones because I can't believe I just realized now everything I picked is sad. Well, oh, not now! Oh my gosh, I'm glad we have an uplifting one. First of all, Jeffrey Schwartz is one of the greatest documentary makers of all time. I actually had to choose between Tab Hunter Confidential and I Am Divine, but I chose The Fabulous Life of Alan Carr because this is less of a known story. Like, who is Alan Carr, you're asking? Alan Carr was one that just made extravagant events. He could see something successful. So he produced the movie Grease and had a big elaborate party to celebrate its release, and that made it a big hit. Then one time he's in Paris, he sees this line of people at the movies for a French film called La Cage aux Folles. He brought that to America and turned it into a musical, winning a Tony Award. But it turns out taste isn't always, and timing isn't always right, because he did have some super flops like Can't Stop the Music. When you watch the documentary, when that was being filmed, disco was still alive, but before the movie came out, disco died, and in many ways, so did his career. Super interesting man, great story, and it actually can uplift us a little bit after my other ones. Then we come to The Circle. Now, when you're trying to find this movie, you may go by its Swiss title, Der Kreis, K-R-E-I-S. It means the circle, but it's about a bunch of gay people that belong to a club. It's really the gay club, but they couldn't be out. It's almost like a Friend of Dorothy situation, like I'm in the circle. Well, then there happened to be some murders that they started blaming. It's because of people, look at that, looking at pictures like that, you've gotta be a killer. Anyway, what makes this movie great to me, and Switzerland's entry to the Oscars for Best Foreign Film that year, was the fact that not everything that happened in history that was real was filmed. So this is a great hybrid of a documentary and a narrative feature, because a lot of the stories that were never filmed are told by actors. Really well crafted. It's really one of my favorite LGBT movies. And then we're gonna end this on Folsom Forever. Now, if I can hit the right buttons. Folsom Forever is okay, here's the story about Folsom Forever, and my friend Steve could attest to this. My friend Steve saw this for a film festival. Now, when we are part of film festivals, we have access to 80, 100 movies, and I had seen so many Folsom stories. I'm thinking, what else do I need to know about the #1 best leather fetish street fair of all time? Well, director Mike Skiff is a historian, so he was able to dig deep, tell me stuff I didn't know, and especially during the AIDS crisis where the businesses of Folsom all stuck together to keep things going. And yes, you could see all this leather clad and whipping and all that stuff, but if that's not for you, just know that the Folsom Fair is really a nonprofit organization raising mostly monies for AIDS charities. It has over 300,000 people attend. And in the eye of Mike Skiff, this movie is so elevated that it's not just a behind the scenes of watching fetish things, it's a great film. Now, I went over the 7 minutes I try to go because I'm a big talker, but watch these movies this week. And I had previously talked about other documentaries I point out, Gone, look that up, Grey Gardens, Every Act of Life, the story of Terrence McNally, and You Don't Know Me. In the meantime, I will catch you later, but let's enjoy these movies together at home. And remember to fight for your rights, because nobody can take them from you. And if we act together, we are acting strong.